Hey y'all, welcome to Jenn Masio's Kitchen. Today we're making pumpkin pie. Let's do this. Starting with our crust, we need about 2/3 cup of butter. Not just any butter. We need ice cold butter. Just barely soft enough so you can run your knife through it. Think North Pole. In a separate bowl, we're gonna put 2 cups of flour and about a teaspoon of salt. Mix all that together because we need that salt evenly dispersed throughout the flour. Little by little, we're gonna be adding not our ice cubes, our butter cubes, exactly, but they're almost icy. I found that the best way to incorporate our butter into our flour is with our handy dandy hands. Little by little, we're gonna continue adding our butter until we get a texture that's like the sand, but just so you know, a little bit wet. Slowly, we're gonna be adding about 6 to 7 tablespoons of ice water. You get the hint? This is cold, exactly. When that's hard enough, we're gonna put it into some saran wrap and leave it in the fridge. Depending on when you're gonna make this, you need at least 1 hour before making your pie. I like to do it the day before, that way I have plenty of time to let my pie crust chill. Wrap her up, tuck her up, and get her ready for a pleasant night in the fridge. Tap, 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 make sure she's well ready for bed. The next day, preheat your oven to about 360 Fahrenheit. Roll out your crust after letting it chill for about an hour outside of the fridge. Don't forget to put a little flour on your pin to make sure that your crust doesn't stick to your pin. Put that crust into the pan, even her out, and back into the fridge for about 30 minutes. After about 30 minutes, we're gonna make them nice and pretty and very homemade pinch edges on the side to get that very homey, very quaint texture. Into the oven she goes for about 20 minutes, or so I thought. Yeah, I know. The blonde forgot to put the fork holes in the bottom. This makes it so you do not need a pie weight when baking your pie. And that way your pie doesn't explode on the bottom. Get an egg ready to put on the side of your pie after that first 20 to 30 minutes in the oven. After that time has passed, get that pie out and right away start putting your egg on it. This is gonna give it a very beautiful, appetizing, and golden touch to your pie. Put it back into the oven for about 5 minutes. Now let's begin on the filling for our pie. In a bowl, we're gonna put about 3 eggs. Well, not about, exactly 3 eggs. Whisk that all up and then add a 1/2 cup of brown sugar and a 1/2 cup of white sugar. Yeah, I like it sweet. We're gonna add some cinnamon and a little bit more salt. Add a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/2 teaspoon salt and continue whisking until it's all nice and mixed up. Add in about a tablespoon of vanilla and mix, mix, mix before adding our pumpkin. Now add about 15 ounces or 2 cups of homemade pumpkin puree. You know, exactly, like the one in the pumpkin recipe, exactly. As this is homemade pumpkin puree, we're gonna blend it to avoid the lumpies. To that, we're gonna add about a cup of evaporated milk and just let it blend away. When it's nice and smooth and complete perfection, we're gonna add it to our pie pan. And gonna put it back in the oven for about 25-35 minutes. When your pie is done, bring it out, let her rest, and then devour. You'll know your pie is done when in the center it's still just a little jiggly. She is done and she is party. There's a science into cutting these things. Make a line down the middle like this. You can go all the way across or just halfway. I'm just gonna do halfway. This one right here, she's so pretty. And she is set, and she is gorgeous, and she is ready to be eaten. Get that little puppy out and ready to be done. I am going to grab this piece right here. And taste the crust. Buttery and flaky and fabulous. Don't forget that. Buttery, flaky, fabulous. Perfect. Okay, I have to preface this. This is way too warm for it to be at its absolute succulent best. But for the sake of the video, I had to taste it right now. And also it was smelling absolutely fantastic. But it wouldn't be in true Blondie style without, you know, a little Baskin Robbins whip. Okay, you can make this from scratch. I was gonna, but then I'm like, everything else in this recipe is super natural and homemade, so let's cheat a little bit, shall we? If you guys at home aren't drooling right now, then I can do this one right. One of my favorite pies of all times because it is so simple. You know, once you get the pie crust part. I used to live at high altitude, and so baking any kind of dough was super simple and fast. But a little while ago, I moved to sea level, where it's hot and humid. And for some reason, that mix, sea level, hot and humid, doughs don't really, they're not jiving. They don't like it. So I've had one of the hardest things for me in the kitchen has been getting that just right. So if any of you guys have any tips or tricks on how to do any kind of dough perfectly, sea level, humidity, and hot, let your girl know. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always love spending time with you guys. Don't forget the recipe's always down below, downstairs in the description. And also don't forget to subscribe, that little button down there, and hit that little notification next to it so you'll be notified for all of our recipes every single week. Thank you again for spending time with us. See you next time here on Jenn Masio's Kitchen. Bye.